Well, hello. Welcome back. And first of all, now I want to thank everybody for their kind words and for making some comments on the last video. And for those that haven't commented, I'm still waiting for your comments now on the video. Are you enjoying the videos or not? Let me know. If I should keep it up. A lot of people are saying, hey, we like the videos, Ron. Keep them coming. Just if you got the same word, put in your vote. And for today, first up is Blood, Sweat, and Tears here. Now this is another one of those 45 RPM records that, I used to have a Japanese first edition of this record right here. And when folks would come over, company come over, it's one of the records I'd put on. It was like one of the best sounding records in my collection. And then I got this one. Oh my goodness. It's the same thing. I mean, it's head and shoulders above anything else. This is probably one of the best sounding records in my whole record collection. And this was produced by ORG. And this record is now on a gatefold, which it never was before, because now it's a 2 LP. And they put it on a nice, smart gatefold jacket. Nice, huge, thick records. And they seem like they were pressed at RTI, the way that these records are made, because this is a USA pressing here. And I did check. They put them on a nice Columbia 2i. If I can get it straight for you. That's always nice. That's the original label that the records came on. And this is another one of those records that, the nice thing about it is a lot of people know about the records. And the sound on these is so phenomenal. Like I was talking about that Santana record on the last video. If you haven't seen that video, you need to go back and watch it when I talk about this 45 RPM records. And if you don't have a great stereo, you really need a record like this, because it makes an average stereo sound like a super duper audiophile record playing system, because this is the source material. And this record now, like I was saying before, you've got your great grandparents, your grandparents, your parents. Everybody knows the songs on this. So somebody, they come over, it doesn't matter who it is, you put this record on, their jaws are going to drop. They're going to say, wow, I didn't know records sounded that great. It's unbelievable. Yeah, that's why you need a record like this. I love this record right here. Great sounding record and good material on there as well. And then I have another Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Now that one was produced by Friday Music, and it was remastered by Kevin Gray, and it's on a gatefold cover on the Columbia 2i again. And again, it's got a lot of those great songs on it. A lot of the hits from them. It sounds good. It's a good sounding record. And then I bought this. This is another one of those gift pack series out of Japan. And you know how these open up? And you've got the record sleeves in, the original record sleeves in here. And they're advertising their SQ. It's got Bitches Brew. The second Abraxas is in here from Santana. And we got Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel, and the first Santana LP. So you know the time period this was made. And you get a nice book in here. Of course, it's a lot of Japanese and writing and such in here. But they do have a nice picture on the inside. And of course you get the calendar with the gift pack series. And let's just kind of quickly go through the calendar. Andy Williams on the first one. Then we have Miles Davis, Michael Pontiff, there's old Jeff Beck, and we have Chase, a lot of horns in that band, Santana, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Bob Dylan, Chicago. How about this one? Check that out. Partridge Family. You remember the Partridge Family show, don't you? Back in the day when you were kids watching that Partridge Family? That's a good old picture of them there. Anybody seen a picture of this dude lately? Yeah, it's crazy how all these having all these folks, of course. Their time does to them. And Mountain. Look at that. You got a picture of Mountain in here. Mississippi Queen. Simon and Garfunkel. And then they've got a listing of all of their quadraphonic records. That's all the quadraphonic records that they put out, SQ. So that was interesting. And then you've got the 2 LPs out here. It's got 2 LPs on a gold label. So basically, it's kind of like the first 2 LPs, basically. What's missing off that first one, and you know, it's got Go Down Gambling, Heidi Ho, Lucreta McEvil, you know, all that stuff. And then it's got the other LP on there. And it's a Japanese press. It's got really good sound on it. Next up, Boston. This is on a gatefold because this was a reissue by Friday Music. And this is one of their better reissues on their 180 gram vinyl, the first Boston LP. It really sounds good. This Boston, when the original issue, it always had a bit of brightness to it. And Friday Music cleaned up that brightness and they really made it sound nice. Boston, Third Stage. This is another Japanese original press. It's on the gatefold. Let's open it up to look at the gatefold cover. And it's just on a Boston. It says Boston on the label. And then the second LP, Don't Look Back. Now this is on a nice big thick cover inside of the gatefold. Let's look at you can't really see the whole picture because of the OBs in the way, but that's pretty cool. This is on a orange epic period, and you get a nice book and an inner sleeve, nice package. Boston, good LP. And next we have Rick Derringer, American Boy. And I had a friend of mine, he loved this record. He actually bought it for me. Not this particular record, but he bought the record. He brought it over to the house. And every day when he come over, he wanted to hear that rock and roll hoochie coo. Ron, put that on. Put that rock and roll hoochie coo. First thing he came over, he wanted to hear that song every day. He loved it. So I bought this record for him. Paul, if you're watching the video, here it is. I got it for you. When you come on over next time, I've got the Japanese one for you. Here's Rebel by John Miles. What label is this record on? London, or Red London label. Take it out of the... That's an original pressing on the Red London label. 1975, Decca. And this is one of my sister's favorite records. She always wants to, Ron, play that John Miles record. Yeah. She's going, hey, can I take that to a party? I'm like, no, you can't take the John Miles record to one of your parties. Sorry. That's why I still have it. You know, it's almost 50-year-old record and it still looks nice. Had it for a long time. Christopher Cross. I went, you know, these records here, these Christopher Cross records, they made a lot of them, and you can get them out of Japan. They're like $20 with the OB, mint condition. And you know, this has a couple of really, really good songs on it. Ride Like the Wind and Sailing, those two. If you're not familiar with Christopher Cross, Ride Like the Wind and Sailing. Those are really, really good. They really do good harmony on that. Okay, Joe Walsh. Let's have a look at the label on this. This is an original pressing. The smoker you drink, the player you get. Joe Walsh on that ABC Records label. This used to be, if you get an original US press, what I had before, it'll be on the ABC Dunhill. It'll be that black label. This is a nice big thick gatefold cover. And you know, one of the things about this record right here, it's got that song. What's the name of the song? Rocky Mountain Way. Yeah, that song Rocky Mountain Way. That's really good song on here on this record, and it's got such great fidelity. So you just go out. I had that other one for years. Go out and find yourself an original on that ABC Dunhill, and pick up that and play that song on there. It's a really good sounding record. It's a good song if you're not familiar with it. And I was lucky enough, I found a really nice first edition of this record for my collection. Look, we got Cheech and Chong out here. They made it in the record collection. What did they bring with them? Everybody, there might be a few folks, you know, that don't know about this record. But the cool thing about this record, when you the inner sleeve, look what's inside the door of the, you know, Cheech and Chong, what they like doing. And then they've got all their song lyrics, song titles and everything. So you got to put so you got a little bit different expression too when you take there's 4 of them in the car. There they are. Yeah, that's a good record. Funny. I remember back in the day they played that at parties and you'd sit back and laugh. Okay, Johnny Rivers. A Touch of Gold. Of course, this is Johnny Rivers' greatest hits. By the time I get to Phoenix, Look to Your Soul, Summer Rain, Poor Side of Town, Baby I Need Your Lovin', The Tracks of My Tears. Yeah, did I say any more? That's a great record there. And it's on the, look at that, Imperial Records label. That's an old-timey label there. This was the label that Johnny Winter was on when he first came out. I was trying to think of that label. This is it. Imperial. I had the first Johnny Winter record I ever got. That's the label it was on. Johnny Rivers. Good stuff there. Okay, I'm not sure how many people know about this record, but if you don't, this is one of the records to own. This Muddy Waters Folk Singer. Now this is a Classic Records reissue, but this is a real popular record with audiophiles because how the great sound is on it and how good the record is. So it's been reissued a number of times. You can get the current issues now on Analog Productions, I think, has got one, and I'm not sure if Mobile Fidelity's got one, but there's a couple different reissues of this thing out now, and they're fantastic. You can even get it on a 45 RPM. This is just an older Classic Records edition, and it sounds fantastic. But this is one of the records to own. Eric Burton and the Animals sings the greatest hits. Now the weird thing about this record is it's on a label called Pear, and he's not just redoing his songs. He's doing them differently. He's got a different band, and he just does it different. The songs on here, like House of the Rising Sun, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, We Gotta Get Out of This Place, It's My Life, When I Was Young, Painted Black, Nights in White Satin, Tobacco Road. Talking about some great songs on this record. But I'm going to have to take a chance. I want to do this record, and I want to do a bunch of needle drops on this record, and so you can listen to this, because this is a British rock. This is a different record. It's not his normal songs that he did. They just did it different, and they're great. I love it. I love them. I think they're better than the original ones. You can believe that. Okay, I've got this record out again. This is Chilliwack's first record. It's got some really good songs on it. It's on that Parrot label again. And this is another Chilliwack record. That was from 1970. This is from 1980. And this has got the song on it, My Girl. Chilliwack. Look up the song My Girl. Listen to that. See if you like that song. I really did like it. And there they are on the back of the ship, being some rock stars on the ship, I guess. Yeah, that's what they do. Canadian band there, Chilliwack. Okay, now we get into some CCR, and this is the. Let's see if I can get all the stuff out of here. This is the Analog Productions reissue. Quality Record Pressings. And this is an original inner sleeve that I got out of a different record. One of the original on the Fantasy label. I got that out of a different record, put that in there. And then if they put it on the proper label, that Fantasy label, that's when it came out on. And of course, this is a great record. This is one of my favorite CCR records. I bought this record, I can remember. I was in, I was just starting high school. I was in 9th grade when this record came out. And I went and bought it. And, running through the jungle, and heard it through the grapevine, and traveling band. A lot of good songs on here. And I had that record for a long time. Then I got the Mobile Fidelity Half-Speed Master because I liked the record. And then they reissued this. AP reissued it. And you could pick it, I think it's $29. And it was much better than the MoFi. And I remember somebody had asked the question, Ron, have you ever done any blind tests? And I haven't really done any blind tests because, I can hear the difference. It's not like it's subtle, especially on a record like this. So I told my son, I said, okay, I had a couple different records. I said, put one on and I'll tell you what record it is. And he put different records on. I says, don't tell me what you're putting on. Don't let me know. I'm going to walk out of the room. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to listen to it. Okay. I guessed it right every time. I knew exactly what record he was putting on. So it's not hard to tell. It's not hard to tell at all. Everybody can hear it. All of my kids, I've had them up listening to records. They can all hear the differences in the different records. It's not a subtle thing a lot of times. Sometimes it is, of course. When you get different pressings and they're both very good, you have to listen for what the differences are. But once you hear it, okay, that's the thing about high-end sound now. Once you hear how that bell's ringing, then you take it away, that's when you really notice it. When you add things, you don't really notice them as fast. But when you get used to how it sounds, then you take it away, you're going, oh my goodness, what's going on? How come it sounds like crap? You know what I mean? It's not, oh man, this sounds great.